Hey folks, I'm excited about the Future of Lodging Forum that's coming in London next week. I know many of you are coming. I want to just give a quick overview of why I think it's such a great conference for you to attend if you haven't registered yet. We are the 25 great speakers that we have throughout the day peppered, talking about the big transformations happening in the hotel sector as well as the adjacencies with the short-term rental sector. We'll talk about how these two categories are merging, but also obviously the biggest part of the discussion will be about the hotel sector and then some bits of short-term rental sprinkled throughout the day. So what I wanted to do just in this short video is quickly go over the program and some of the speakers, and I'm just going to read through the program and think why I'm excited about many of these speakers that are here, and I'll have to put on my glasses. So it starts in the morning when actually the opening is on March 28th in the evening, so please do attend. It's at the Google headquarters in London, so it'll be a great space for you to come. It starts in the morning on March 29th. Research overview from Varsha Arora, who's our senior research analyst, will give some great overview on the hotel sector. Please make sure you're there in the morning. And the main opening interview is with Jean-Jacques Morin, who's the deputy CEO at Accor Group. Accor obviously is at the cutting edge of so many changes that are happening in hospitality. We cover them daily pretty much in so many things that they do. And he's the number two after Sebastian. Sebastian is a great speaker. We've heard from him so many times, and this was a great chance to hear from the number two person there. And then Katerina Giannoka, who's the new CEO of the Jumeirah Group, one of the very few, probably among the only large hotel company female CEOs that exist today, which is obviously says a lot about the state of the hotel sector. And we're going to talk about that, plus also what are her plans for Jumeirah Group as it expands, not just within the Middle East, but also beyond Middle East as well. There are a lot of plans for that. We have the SVP and CTO of Booking.com, Rob Francis, after that, which is, again, a great time. Booking.com has been thinking about, with this boom in AI, what is their role and how will they adopt, and they're already using it obviously as well, so we're going to dig into bits and pieces of that in the interview. Then we have a panel on the vacation rentals coming of age, sort of the post-boom phase of the vacation rental world, with Hendrik, CEO of Aways, and Marilee Kerr, who's the CEO of Under the Doormat. We have a full conference in June for the short-term rental in New York. This will give you a taste of what's to come, what happened, what is the post-boom phase in the short-term rental sector. Then we get into some of the sustainability and wellness aspects of the hospitality sector. Again, lots happening. The head of IG, Chief Sustainability Officer, and then Curtin Hospitality's Marlos, who's doing some very interesting work in the Middle East around sustainability and the new hotels that she's putting together as part of her group. We have the Chief Commercial Officer of Hilton there as well, Chris Silcox, who's a great speaker. Lots happening at Hilton in terms of organic growth. Their focus is very much organic growth, unlike some of the other brands. And so we'll hear about that from him. And then the hotel tech world, we have the industry lead for travel for UK, Finbar Cornwall. He's speaking. It's Google. They just launched the Bard AI tool today. Lots of discussion on that, I'm sure. And Tamara Lohan, who's the founder of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which has always had a very boutique and a different way of selling hotels. She's going to talk about the new ways of selling and retailing hotels. We have Eric Freeman of TUI Group. He's the Group Chief Marketing Officer. He's spoken at the Skift conferences before. Really smart. Obviously, hospitality is a big part of their offering, and they're also thinking they've been going through this transformation, so we're going to talk about that as well. Then we have a panel as we are in the last part of the day on from an owner and investor perspective. Ankur Ranadev, who's the Chief Commercial Officer of Highgate, that is expanding, US-based company, New York-based company that is expanding quite a bit in UK as well as Europe and Portugal. They just bought a big portfolio in Portugal. Joe Pettigrew, who is the Starwood Capital Group's Chief Commercial Officer, again, very much on the cutting edge of hotel owners and investors, along with our friend Richard Clark from Bernstein, who's always very good. Also, he's also presenting early in the day as well. His is always the most screenshotted part of our conference because his slides are so good. I'm interviewing the last 2 speakers of the day. Tyler Morse of MCR Hotels, that owns the TWA Hotel in JFK, but also a large portfolio. They're now the 3rd largest hotel owner in US, and he happens to be in town, and he's always very provocative about cutting out the OTAs from the process and why there's a need to go direct. And he's actually going to talk about that, plus also personalization, which he's very focused on from a tech perspective. They bought a bunch of tech companies and hotel tech companies. And then I'm ending the day with Catherine Powell, who interviewed last year at the Future of Lodging forum that we did in New York. And she's the global head of hosting. This is Airbnb, the most interesting, the most iconic company of the modern era in the travel industry. And she's in charge for all the hosting. Chesky has talked about there's a new homepage for Airbnb coming. He teased it on Twitter last week. And there's rumor, well, this is the rumor that I started, that it's going to be a mix of generative AI and search that currently exists on Airbnb. I have a feeling she's not going to disclose that, but we're going to dig into the hosting part of it and how that's affected with the changes they did over the last 1.5 years, 2 years, on how they changed the categories, etc., and what's to come. So that's that. I hope you get a great sense of why I'm excited about this conference. It's a quick 1 day, lots packed into it. It's the best creative brain food that I will guarantee you that. And obviously, you and I will be able to hang out. So please join us next week.